Sir, may I come in?
Yes, please.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So, N for Nihir, please tell about yourself.
Sir, my name is Nihir Kumar. I was born and brought up in Devghar, Jharkhand. I pursued my BTech in Chemical Engineering from IIT Kharagpur. I worked with Capgemini Technology Services Limited for 1 year and a half, and since April 2022, I am preparing full-time for UPSC.
You did your BTech which year?
I completed it in 2020.
Okay, then you worked for 1 year and then you have come.
Yes, sir.
And what are your hobbies?
Sir, my hobbies are motorcycling, listening to hip-hop music, and watching pro wrestling.
Okay, watching pro wrestling.
Yes, sir.
You don't wrestle yourself. Good, very interesting. Okay. So tell me, you're working with Capgemini
Yes, sir.
Services. And what exactly you are doing?
Sir, my job was to, as a quality tester, I was to ensure the back-end integration of the Care Hub program to the e-com services platform.
So now let's look at the Paytm issue.
Yes, sir.
So what exactly has happened there? Are you aware?
Yes, sir. RBI gave a lot of warnings to Paytm earlier, and there was a compliance which every payments bank or a bank needs to maintain, that it needs to maintain a different server from for the customers, so for its KYC. But Paytm was using the same server for its other purposes like Paytm Mall and for its Paytm's payment bank. Moreover, there were issues related to compliance, and some experts allege that this issue was also because of the parent company of Paytm, which is a Chinese company.
Which is?
A Chinese company.
Okay. No, but main issue was the server, or there was something else which was the real cause?
Sir, as far as I know, the main issue was the data related issues due to the server.
Was it not related to KYC?
Sir, it is the same issue related to KYC, because the KYC data which was getting stored in the server, it was being used for other purposes.
No, but was it not that on the same KYC they issued lot of Paytm numbers?
Yes, sir. There was an issue which was pointed that on one KYC, on one number, more than 10 bank accounts were registered.
Yes, so technically, is it possible? Or they did some mischief to allow it to happen?
Sorry, sir, I am not sure whether it is possible. But if there are more than 10 accounts with the same KYC number, it shows that some mischief is associated with it.
So how does UPI link your bank account with your Aadhaar number?
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware about the exact details, but it uses mobile number as a two-factor authentication to confirm the linkage.
Is it mobile number, or they do something else?
Sorry, sir, I'm not
One
aware.
is the bank account number and one is the Aadhaar. These
Yes,
two
sir.
have to be linked.
Yes, sir.
So how are they linked?
Sir, Aadhaar number is given for bank account as well, and
Aadhaar is seeded.
yes, sir.
Yes, but how are they linked?
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware.
So what happens is that the bank gives a virtual name to every Aadhaar. That virtual name is then linked with the account. So that virtual name which becomes the key. That
Thank you.
virtual name is unique.
Thank you, sir.
Anyway, so you are from Devghar
Yes, sir.
and your parents are doing what business?
So my father is into the business of spices, and my mother is a beautician and a trained stitching and knitting expert.
Okay. So you have, when you're doing job, were you paying any tax?
Yes, sir, I was paying tax.
What tax you were paying?
Income tax, and also there was professional tax associated with the state of Maharashtra.
So that is all the tax you have paid all these years?
Sir, I'm also paying indirect taxes on the, for example, the GST.
Okay. So how much is the GST collection every month?
Sorry, sir, I'm not recalling the exact data. But I think the last time I read, it was around 1.5 lakh crore, 1.4, 1.5 lakh crore.
Yeah, it's gone up to 1.7 lakh crore, but fair enough.
Thank you, sir.
And out of indirect and direct, which one is more?
Sorry, sir, I don't know.
Fair enough. I have two requests to make to you.
Yes, sir.
One is you have a good smile, so use your smile.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Secondly, you don't have to freeze your hands like this. You can use your hands.
Yes, yes.
And third is when you reply, 60% of the time look at the person who has asked the question, 40% of the time look at the others on the side.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So these three things, if you take care, it will be much better for you
Thank you, sir.
as well as for us.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. We'll get energy from you. Yes, sir.
So you studied anthropology for your optional. So how do you compare you lived in different places, Kharagpur, West Bengal, Ahmedabad and Pune, three different states. How do you compare one line of each state or each city socially relevant issue? How do you describe these cities? Like starting from Kharagpur.
So, pardon me, sir. Am I supposed to answer it the social issue?
Social, any take some special thing you learned or you observed there.
Sir, in Devghar, the sacred complex revolving around the Lord Vaidyanath temple is there. In Kharagpur, the issue of inculturation and acculturation due to the diversity of the students in Kharagpur. In Ahmedabad, sorry, sir, I cannot infer because it was an industrial.
How the people are special in Ahmedabad? Some speciality is. How society is special? That's what I need to say.
So the society in Ahmedabad, in the place which I was living, it was upper middle class and more and more individualistic in nature. And pardon me, sir, I haven't lived in Pune because at that time I was working from home.
Okay, you work from home.
Yes, sir.
So how do you rate that work from home is better or working going to the office? Because there then you save money on traveling and sometimes even office expenses. One company doesn't need to have so many offices and space.
Sir, for me, work from home was a two-edged sword, to be honest. When it comes to the freeing of the hours, I was able to do a lot of studies post the office hours. But at the same time, the work pressure was much more because the system was actually with me the whole of the time. So even if there was a call from my client was based in US, so even if there was a call at 2 a.m. in the night from US, I would have to log in.
Okay, so you could work more as compared to.
Yes, sir.
So you think that some of the companies, Indian companies, who had allowed work from home till recently, they are going back to they are asking that twice a week you should come. So they are correct in their action. How do you rate IT companies, big IT companies?
Sir, it frees some of their resources. For example, they do not have to pay rent for the buildings and a lot of office resources.
But they are asking now to come back to offices at least twice, if not more.
Sir, it adds to the flexibility of the employee so that the employee can work in flexible hours. Moreover, through representation at the office, the work culture can be kept intact.
So after staying at different places, what do you think you can do for Devghar or suggest your DN or somebody else to that this is the learning from outside, the same can be replicated in your place also?
Sir, first will be regarding tourism. I went to Puri last year and I saw that the tourism plan is well developed.
One is tourism. Second,
The second will be the involvement of students for social development in the outskirt villages. For example, the National Service Scheme.
Pune is the education hub. Don't you want to make a center of education?
Yes, sir, it can be
Better
made.
than Ranchi or some other place in your.
Sir, Devghar is a booming education hub with AIMS coming up, and also it has VIT Mesraj branch.
It has already branch, so it can become the center of education for Jharkhand.
Yes, sir, it
That's
can.
it.
It has the potential, sir.
Okay, thank you. Please.
Mr. Nihir Kumar, good afternoon to you. I've recently been to Devghar, and the happy part was earlier one traveled by slow means, and now one can go by faster means, right?
Yes, sir.
So, how is the air connectivity doing?
Sir, the air connectivity is there, but there are a lot of issues and hurdles. When there is a slight weather change, there have been issues that the flight is being then landed to Durgapur, and then through Durgapur, via Durgapur, the people have to come via cab to Devghar. So it's still not the infrastructure is still not high quality.
In fact, I read when this Ram Mandir ceremony was going on, VIPs were coming by aircraft. Many of the aircraft were overnight kept at Devghar. So that impressed me even further that it must be an impressive infrastructure facility. But obviously there is some development there going on either in terms of education or religious tourism. So is there a vision for Devghar to develop as a modern tourist hub or religious pilgrimage center?
Sir, recently a temple corridor was announced for the Lord Baidyanath temple to develop it as a temple's town.
I'll ask you a little on the international side also. Presumably you take an interest in the outside world also and you read newspapers. Right? We hear Indo-Pacific, it's so common, Indo-Pacific strategy, Indo-Pacific policy, India's Indo-Pacific policy or approach. What do you understand? What is this Indo-Pacific?
So the Indo-Pacific is a region from the continent of Africa to the continents of North and South America. It comprises from the continent of Africa to the continents of Americas. And it consists of, it is very important for India because India India holds a very significant position in the Indian Ocean, and its important neighbors and economic and strategic partners are in the ASEAN, and it is also to counter China.
Yeah, but what are the principles? It's connected with maritime activity, movement of ships and ship-related activity.
Yes, sir.
So, what are the principles of Indo-Pacific?
That it should be free and open.
Yes, and yeah.
Sorry, sir.
Anything about international law, rules? Yeah.
The United Nations.
There should be respect for rules, respect for international laws.
Yes, sir.
Right?
The
It should
UN
be-
clause.
Yeah, so it should be free movement,
Yes, sir.
international commerce, right? So as far as what you mentioned about Africa, not all countries subscribe to that. The American strategy is from Maharashtra to America. So each country has its own version, just for your knowledge. Yeah. And the recent elections in Pakistan also, have you monitored that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And your understanding of the post-election scenario?
Sir, post-election scenario, there is a lot of confusion because first the election was rigged as there was a whistle blown by the election commissioner of Rawalpindi, and the condition now is confusing because the PPP, the two major parties, PPP and PMLN, are still negotiating on the power share there.
Well, today's newspaper, if you had read, they have arrived at an agreement also.
Sir, the argument was that PPP wants the post of president, speaker, and the Senate chairman, but still there is a lot of confusion. The argument is not still clear in the.
What is the trade impact of impact on trade of what's going on in the Red Sea?
Ma'am, the insurance of the trade has jumped. Earlier it was 0.01%, and right now it is almost 1%. Moreover, the more and more ships are taking the longer route via the Cape of Good Hope, which is increasing the time. First is the time, and the second is the cost due to the increased fuel uses, and and also the trade of FMCG goods are impacted because they have very low shelf life.
And so they have low shelf life. So something is happening to the inventories.
Ma'am, they may be getting wasted, or there will be a lot.
And they're rising, no? They're rising. The warehouse are getting choked if they're not able to sell. Okay. And now there was in the G20 an alternate one route proposed. What was that?
Ma'am, it was a side deal. IMEC, Indian Middle East Europe Economic Corridor.
Very nice. And where does it pass through?
Ma'am, it started from India, Gujarat and Maharashtra, towards UAE, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Israel, and Greece. Greece, as far as I can remember.
Yeah, Greece.
Sorry, ma'am, I'm
You
not.
said Greece, ना? हाँ, so इतना लो क्यों बोल रहे हो? अच्छे से बताओ, ठीक है? All right, okay, very nice. So, and what is the hitch then?
Ma'am, right now the Israel-Hamas war is going on, and there is a confusion, political confusion in the Middle East that Saudi and UAE are supporting Hamas. They want, even they have raised concerns against Israel attacking the people of Gaza. So the situation may get delayed, or it is halted as of now.
So, India is very friendly to UAE, isn't it? And recently, when Honorable PM visited the Middle East, there was some cultural event also that happened. What was that?
It was called Ahlan Modi, and it was also the BAPS temple in Abu Dhabi was also inaugurated.
Okay, so what do you think is the significance of the temple in Abu Dhabi? I mean, how does it help?
Ma'am, it shows that economy is important when it comes to India-Arab relations first. The second thing is it shows that India is not only protecting its culture, rather reflecting its own culture when it comes to via its diaspora, using its soft power. And third thing, it also answers to the West when they criticize India's human rights abuses. Ma'am, there is a criticism from the Western countries that India is suppressing the rights of the minorities. So when the Arab countries, which are considered as the stronghold of Islam, they are supporting India by even donating land for a BAPS temple, this signifies that they have trust in India.
So it neutralizes some of that those concerns, huh? Okay, all right. And who are the Ansar Allah?
Pardon, ma'am?
Who are the Ansar Allah?
Sorry, ma'am, I don't know.
Okay, they are the Houthis. All right. Right. Now, what's their background?
Ma'am, they are Iran-backed Shia rebels in Yemen, and they have captured the capital of Yemen, Sana'a.
Rebels, or are they the controlling faction?
Ma'am, the political narrative goes that they are rebels.
There's some divided opinion on that. You can always, read up. Okay. Now, what are the kind of biases that can be introduced through algorithms?
Ma'am, first is the data bias, training data bias, because there is a report that says that almost 90% of the data which is being fed into machine learning data is consists of the white people, not the black people. So this is the training bias. Second may be the algo bias, which is being made by the developer. The developer, through his or her own bias, can transfer that bias to the algorithm.
So is it consciously being done, or is it like?
Ma'am, it may be conscious or unconscious as well, because we are all culturally conditioned through this society. So whatever we learn through this society, and it may be unintentionally passed on to the algorithm as well.
Okay. And you heard of the concept of singularity?
Sorry, ma'am, I don't know.
When machines will attain consciousness. Never mind. You just read a little more about that. Okay. Thank you.
Nihir Kumar. Very good afternoon. So, you have done chemical engineering from IIT. Yes. Correct. So, what is this green chemistry?
So green chemistry refers to practices or products being used in chemistry or chemical engineering which are environmental friendly.
Can you name some real life examples?
Renewable energy.
Green chemistry, how it can be applied?
Sir, a lot of resources, fuel is currently sourced from fossil fuels. And they are leading to global warming. And renewable energy eradicates those carbon emissions. The second example is green steel, in which from energy to production, green and environmental friendly practices are used.
Okay. So, with respect to fuel, what is the India's vision?
Uh, Sir, it was in the NDCs. I am forgetting the target, sir.
At least tell what is the future fuel India is planning.
Sir, India is planning, in the interim budget, there was a focus on the rooftop solar power plant. Uh, Other than this, there was a hydroelectricity, small hydroelectricity and a large hydroelectricity is also being developed. Nuclear power plant, nuclear energy is also being explored, and other than nuclear, wind energy is also being explored.
What is green hydrogen mission?
Sir, green hydrogen, I am forgetting about the target. Green hydrogen refers to hydrogen which is extracted from the electrolysis of water using renewable energy resources.
Okay. So, what are these solid state batteries?
Solid state batteries are explored to be being used as an alternative to the lithium ion batteries. I am not sure about their internal working.
And with respect to your software engineering work, yes, so you worked with testing.
Yes.
Can you name some stages of testing for before a software product comes to life?
Yes, sir. When the development team tests it first. The first is unit testing by the development team itself. Then it comes to the testing team. User acceptance testing is there. Then it goes into testing phase with the consumers, alpha testing and beta testing, and then the last phase is gamma testing.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. All the
Best of
best,
luck.
Nihir.